Yo, welcome to my first tutorial on Roblox Studio on scripting visual effects on Roblox. So I want to do Conqueror's Haki on Roblox. You're wondering how, I'm gonna tell you how now. If you haven't seen, I've made a Conqueror's Haki VFX. I'll play that for you. Yeah, so you're gonna want some scripting knowledge because we can't really do it without scripting, but it's kind of a scripting tutorial. But okay, we're gonna get started. So the first thing you want, obviously, is your particles. So we're gonna start with something basic. I quickly made this. It wasn't really anything crazy. If I can find it. Yep, there we go. So we start off with this, and this is gonna be our effect. And this is what we're gonna start off with for now. It's not gonna be nothing too crazy. We're probably gonna rely on the other effects to carry the whole thing, but it's not gonna be anything too mad. So yeah, this is what we start with. So first thing we want to do, let's just disable all this because we don't really need this on right now because it's not helpful. And we're gonna put this in, let's say, replicate storage. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is find a way to activate it, the Conqueror cycle. Yeah. So we're first gonna actually get a script so that we can even detect an input because that's the first step of everything. So when the user press press F, we're gonna register that as an input and we're gonna make that as a trigger for our Conqueror Haki. So we're gonna do input become, which basically gets whenever a key is pressed. And so we want to do if key code, that's the specific key. Key code F and not GPE, game processed event, which is things like typing, for example. So if they're pressed F and they're not typing, then we actually want to do the following code. So the following code we want is we're gonna actually reference to a module because we don't want it all in this script. The whole Conqueror Haki thing is just gonna be a lot very messy. So we're actually gonna go to a module, and if you don't know how modules work, do not click off. Don't worry, you're gonna learn in 5 seconds. Okay. So first we're gonna create a module in here. Module scripts. Boom. We're gonna name it. We're gonna call it Haki. And look, it might look confusing, but it's not gonna be. Like, so local module equals acquire, which just gets it. So script, wait the child, Haki, and that's it. Boom. So now we can go in the module script and we can type function module dot run conquerors. And this could be any name function, but we're just naming it run conquerors, okay? And so how this module works, all you've got to do now in the main program, it will run this code, anything in this function here, it will run once I do module dot run conquerors. Now it will run, okay? So that's all we need to do for that. So we can literally close that script, and now we're left with this. So first, we kind of want to make a reference to this. We don't really want it really in replicated storage just on its own because it's good game practice to have it stuff in folders. So we want to maybe create a folder, and we're gonna name it. Let's just say Conquerors. Okay. So in our module, we want to make a reference to that folder called, let's say, like effects folder equals game.replicate storage with child effects. Okay, and now it will give us everything in here. So we actually want to get the character that we're using as well, because yeah. So at first we're just gonna go game.players local player.character because that's just what we're gonna do for now. Okay, so we're gonna clone this part, and we're gonna put it beside the character so that we can have it as an effect. So it will look like this when we enable it, but for starters, we're just gonna have it so it appears next to the character. Now, so local point part equals effects folder clone point part parent equals. I would say workspace. However, it is good also practice to have things in a folder. That was excellent. To have things in a folder as well. We're gonna just name it debris because we're gonna delete it later. Okay, so it's gonna be debris anyway. So workspace.debris. Okay, that's where the part is gonna be stored inside of this folder so that it doesn't make the workspace messy. It's good scripting practice. So Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do conk part dot c-frame equals character pivot. And what this does is the character's pivot is just basically their central point. Like, it's literally where they are positioned. So if they have a primary part, right? The primary part on this currently is the head. So if I set the pivot or the C-frame, well, that's the same thing. But if I set the C-frame as the pivot of this rig, it will be the C-frame of the head. And the C-frame is literally just a position with a rotation. So it will face the same direction as the head is facing. So that's all it is. So if I change the primary part of this model, because it's a model, I can give it a primary part. If I change it to the right leg and I put the C frame to be the character's pivot, it will be in literally here. It'll spawn here. So I'm gonna just make it as the humanoid root part, right? So we're gonna make it just pivot to the character, and we want to make sure that this is anchored and can colliders off on the part. Okay, cool. Then press F. You actually need to go here, FX folder dot. I forgot to reference the actual part, Conqueror's part. Okay, cool. And then you're good there. Boom, works now. Alright, cool. Let's go. F. Boom. And you'll see that it's literally just the same part. Like, you can spam it, whatever. And now if I go into one of them and I enable, you'll see all the effects now. And that's what we're going to do next in the script. So to make this very easy, we're just going to make a little function here, another function. And we're just going to name it toggle buttons, okay? And we're going to do toggle that as the parameters. Okay, so we're going to actually find the actual object as well. Okay, so we're gonna do a for loop. So just so I can show you what it would look like, it would look like toggle particles and then conk part and then true, because I want it to be on. Okay, so it would be like is for underscore v in pairs object get children. You want to go through all the children. If v is a particle emitter, then v dot enabled equals toggle bar. And so this will go through each child. So you'll see here, all the children here will go through each one. And if it's a particle emitter, and this is a particle emitter, you can see up here, then it will be enabled, will be the value of this. And I want it to be true here. So yeah, it will become true. So if I want it to be false, it will also turn off as well. So it's the same thing. I forgot to mention is this is a parent of the child is an attachment, so we need to actually go conk part dot attachment, and then it will loop through the attachment, and then it will do that correctly. So now that I click, boom, it works. Now the only slight issues we have is, first of all, the cube is just sitting in the air, and also it's visible. And yeah, that's kind of a problem if we want it to work effectively, because we don't really want, like, you see the floor, that's meant to be on the floor, that little line thing. But yeah, let's get to fixing that now. So we could go two ways about this. We could either make an offset, right? For the positioning, we can do times cframe.new, and we can do a an offset that makes it go down by 3. So yeah, that kind of works, but another way you could also do is a raycast, but just for the simplicity of the video, we're gonna stick with that. So we're gonna go conk part dot transparency equals 1, and that also makes it invisible. So yeah, you might in your one, you might want to have different attachments for the floor and for the actual rest of the particles, because that's what I had in mind. So the floor actually sticks to the floor, and then the rest of them stick to the body, so it looks like it's coming out of the body. but I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm going to just keep it very simple. Okay, now that we got the particles down, we need to go and work on the camera and the lighting. So in my one, you could see that there is like some FOV changes. Like if you don't dice the field of view, it looks like this. So if I want it like that, like it's just the camera that looks hella weird like sometimes in the effect. That's intentional. Okay, and it was part of the effect. So it's that, and then we have screen shake, and we also have color correction. Now, if you know what color correction is, it's this. So basically, I'm able to change the color of my screen and make it look like how I want it to look. I can add this, I can make it look hella weird, hella funky, different colors, everything. So that was what it was in there as well. So we want to manipulate all three of those factors, the FOV, the screen shake, and the color correction, and that's what we're gonna do now. So alright, first thing we're gonna start off is with the screen shake. So we want to have screen shake. So the best thing about Roblox is that you don't have to actually script things yourself. So we have a module over here called this camera shaker, and so this does everything for us. So I'll leave the link in the description, and it's a really good camera shaking module I use for everything because my own ones aren't as good as this. So yeah, a lot of good games use this as well, so just don't be afraid to use it. It's perfectly fine. So we're actually gonna make a call to actually use this camera shake. So at first, actually on top of here, we want to make a constant called length. Okay, I'm gonna make the length. This is how long the Conqueror Haki is gonna be on for. Okay, and so we want to have this just so that we know how long we want the camera to shake for as well, and we can also have a timer to destroy this as well. But so yeah, first of all, we're gonna start off with, we want to actually get the camera, the current player's camera. So just because of simplicity and we don't want it to be very messy in here, we're gonna do this in another function. We're just gonna name this function like what function, camera shake. Okay, and then we're gonna pass through the length. Okay, and then so we're gonna do camera shake, we'll pass the length through, and there we go. So to set this up, you first need to make obviously a reference to get the actual the module. So we're gonna require the module. So we're gonna do camera shaker equals effects folder VFX camera shaker, and we need to have wrap that in require. Yeah, make sure requires over there. And then the first thing we want to do actually is get the current player's camera. So we're gonna do local camera equals workspace current camera, and that's basically this, right? And so then we want to actually just make the function. Okay, so this is how we do it. Okay, so local cam shake equals camera shaker new enum dot render priority dot camera dot value, and then you want to have function here, and then shake C frame, and then you want to do camera dot C frame times equals shake C frame. Okay, cool. And then you want to do cam shake start, and then we're gonna do cam shake sustain, shake sustain, yeah, shake sustain is it, and then camera shake dot presets dot explosion. And what this basically does, right, is it just shakes the camera and it sustains it because we want it to be sustained for the length of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a wait, but we want it to be in a coroutine because we don't want it to interfere here. We want the code here to keep running. So we're going to add a coroutine wrap, and then path.wait, length of time, and then cam shake is going to stop sustained with a fade out time of 0.5. Okay, And yeah, so if you want, I can put this somewhere in like the link in the description somewhere, like, because if this piece of code is a bit confusing, I'll try it. Just pause if you want to write it down, you know. But yeah, that's how you do that. Okay, so now we have the camera shake, and that should work. That should work. But we want also the effects to stop as well at the same time as when the camera shake stops. So what we're gonna do is also we're gonna actually make another coroutine. We're gonna do coroutine.wrap function fast.wait length, and then we're gonna do toggle equals false, set that to false, and then we're also gonna do game get service debris add item conqueror. We're gonna delete it after like 1 second, okay? Because that's how long we want. We want it to be a smooth fade out. We don't want it to just instantly destroy it. Like if I showed you, for example, how it looks if you instantly destroy it. So if you instantly destroy it, it will just look like this, right? But we want it so that it just comes off and then it destroys afterwards, right? That's how we want it to be. So that's why we add a weight of 1 here. And if you want to be honest, we're probably going to use debris again. So let's make it a variable up here. So debris game gets this debris. Okay, cool. So now we have the camera shake, and we have it so it destroys after we've used it after 5 seconds, because that's how long it's waited. And let's just see if this works. Nice, 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 nice. All right, cool. Oh no! Oh well, no. Yeah, that was great. That was great. Okay, cool. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. But I kind of want to switch it back so that it doesn't have the offset, just because I don't like it how it's so low right now. But yeah, you probably want to have it so there's another attachment, just so that the floor ones hit the floor and the normal ones hit, you know, the body. Okay, so we're gonna stick with that. Okay, so now we have the camera shake. The next thing we need is the field of view. So we're gonna make a function here called local function FOV between. Okay, so we just want this pass over the length of time as well. So let's just FOV between, call it, and then length. And then we want it to change the FOV. So we also need the camera as well. So we're gonna copy this, and then we're just gonna paste this here. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add the tween service up here. So tween service tween service, and we're just gonna do what we have to do with the FOV. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do local tween equals tween service create camera and TI, which we need to do the tween info. That's what TI stands for, tween info. And then we want to do the properties, which is field of. We're gonna name this tween one because we're gonna do no, we actually gonna do one actually. Yeah, so we're gonna do field of view equals. Oh no, we are gonna do 2. Yeah, so we're gonna do tween 1, and then we're gonna make it like 120. Okay, something like that. And then we want to make the local tween info. We're gonna do tween info 1 and tween info 2 because we want it to be different for. Because we're gonna make it go out and then in again. So we're gonna do tween info new, and we're gonna make the time. The time is the main thing that we want different. So we're gonna make this instantly 0.5. Okay. Enum.easing style. I'm just gonna do sign is out. Okay, and then we're gonna copy this to be down below just to avoid confusion for you guys. I'm gonna do it down below so you can see that it's evidently different. I don't want them too close to each other. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna edit this. Well, the default is 70. All right, so that's the default tween. So we're gonna make this tween 1. Okay, I'm gonna do pass.wait length of time minus 1. 1.5 actually, my bad. So this is how long the shake is gonna last as well. So because it's all the lengths, so we want the FOV to last as long as the length and the particle does. So we want it to, after the length has given up, it's gonna go back to the normal, you know what I mean, the normal FOV. So after that, we're gonna make tween 2 point, which resets it to its normal field of view. And that should actually work now. Because it waits here at this line, it stops the rest of this code from running. So we also need to wrap this on a coroutine. So yeah, or we could wrap this lower half, same thing, but I'm gonna just wrap the whole thing in it so that the code keeps running. Yeah, okay. After that, we have the camera shake and we have the field of view, and it should work perfectly fine now that I test it. And there we go. Yeah, that works fine. In my edition, however, it was, so I made it so there was a little startup as well, and so it would like zoom your camera in a tiny bit, and you can't really see it that well, but it goes in a tiny bit and then it goes like that, like with the field of view. But if you want to add that, you can, but you have to mess with it a bit, you know, see what works for you. And then yeah, so the next thing we're gonna go on to do is sound effects. We're gonna do this very quickly because we don't really need to worry about the sound effects too much. In my one, I did a sound effect that was, I got a lot of mixed comments, mixed reviews about it. I liked how it was custom, me personally. A lot of people said it sounded very weird, and I personally don't care because the whole point was that it was custom. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add this sound, and then we're gonna add it to the part actually. So we're gonna, yeah, so let's just name this funk sound, okay? So I have my little sound here, it sounds like this. Okay, you can't hear it. Okay, cool. Let's just add this sound. Let's add it to the Conqueror's part up here. So we're just gonna do a conk sound equals effects folder dot conk sound conk sound parent equals part. And then we're gonna do conk sound play. And yeah, that should be good. So let's go. See, that was just a random sound I found on the toolbox, but I guess it worked pretty well. I'm gonna turn the volume up. I'm gonna decrease the length because you want to mess with everything. Because in my one, like I just messed with a lot of stuff, and including the color correction, which we're gonna get onto next. All right, so I have 2 color corrections right here, and I'm gonna show you them real quick. Okay, so the first one I have is a blue color correction, and so this basically just makes the area blue. If you can see here in line, I had a slightly turned the screen blue, and it slowly tweened into it. But for this, I'm just gonna make it very simple when I script it. But I have a blue one and I have a brightness one, which is very bright and it's meant to only last for a second on the screen. But yeah, if you have like any epilepsy shit or like whatever, I don't know, like just be careful if you use this. So I'm gonna put these in my folder, right? And we're just gonna put this in yeah, just as it is. We're just gonna leave it as it is, alright. And then we're going to make another function called color corrections. I'm gonna do length for time again. So we're just gonna script this, and let's see, we want to have the reference in it. Length, okay, cool. Color corrections. So first we want to have it. We want to have it so it sort of like tweens in the blue slowly. If we had a startup, but because we don't have a startup, we're just gonna make it instantly sort of appear and then be bright, and then it will sort of tween out. So I show you what it looks like. It'll look like something like this. Okay, so the effect will appear. So the effect will appear, boom, and then this will sort of come away, like this will fade out, sort of thing, and then this will get destroyed. It will look like natural. And then this will also fade out as well, and it'll become natural as well. So it's the same thing. So it will fade out very smooth, and then in the end you'll be left with your normal screen. It should look very smooth if we do it correctly. So we kind of want the default settings as well. So we just want to have this here just so that we can see these are the normal settings. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have the default settings. This is what we plan to refer back to. We want it to become normal, right? So we want the brightness equals 0, contrast equals 0. We're gonna leave a name for now. Equals 0. Spell that wrong. And then we're gonna have tint color. We use color 3 from RGB 25. Okay. That's the default color correction settings. Okay, so we're first gonna have the two corrections. So we can actually do two variables in the same line. So we're gonna do flex folder dot blue clone, and I'm just gonna copy this and just change the name, brightness. Yep. Okay. Cool. And so we're just gonna put the parent of these dot parent game dot lighting. We could do the same thing here, brightness because game dot lighting. All right, cool. And so instantly we're gonna see that it will sort of just give us a nice big brightness for like a millisecond if we leave this here. Let's actually do length of time. Actually, no, we can just do 1 millisecond. Right? And then we can do we want to add another weight of length of time because also we want it to, after a certain amount of time, we want it to stop as well. We want it to last for the amount of time. So we're gonna divide that by 2. So after this, right, we want it to tween out, okay? So we want the brightness to tween off to go to the default settings. So what we're gonna do is local brightness tween equals tween service create. We're gonna do brightness. We'll do the tween info later, and then we'll do the default settings, right? And that will be the properties we want. That's the desired properties, okay? And then we're gonna just do brightness tween. Okay, and so now we're gonna do the tween info ti equals length of time. Oh, tween info dot new length of time divided by 2. We want it to be divided by 2 for this. Up here, I'm gonna just remove a millisecond from the length of time just to accommodate for this, just so that we have the perfect timing. So we're gonna do ti. All right, cool. And then we're gonna do easing style dot sign. If whatever works for you, really, you can do sign or any quad or back or any other easing style or direction, whatever one you want. But for this video, we're gonna go for that. And then we're also gonna just copy this, and we're gonna do the same thing. Oh, we don't need the tween info. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do blue tween. It's gonna tween out as well. It's gonna change it to blue tween play, and it's gonna go to default settings. Okay, that's hopefully what we should be looking for. And then we're gonna destroy both of them. Brightness, and then we're just gonna make it so it can destroy in 0 seconds. But the blue one we have to wait for as well because we need the tween to carry out. So we're gonna wait tween length of time divided by 2. But we need to wrap this in a coroutine as well. So we're gonna quickly just do that. That function. Cool. And that should sort of work out for us. Alright, so I actually realized that I didn't actually enable the brightness, so that's why it didn't really show. So I'm gonna change that back to 0.1. That's a mistake on my end. So here we go. It just calms down and eventually removes, and you see it really fades out really nice and smooth. So let's do that again. And to be honest, we kind of want to make the FOV just looks a little bit like too smooth. We want it to be more dramatic, so like there we go, something like that should be fine. We'll add that to 130 as well. Okay, cool. So now that we have FOV, screen shake, color correction, sound effects, particles, everything's done. And you have something similar. You can even make the field of view. I mean, not the field of view. The camera shake more intense if you change the presets over here. You can make your own presets, or you can edit them over here. So right now we have earthquake, I think, or explosion. We have. And you can change the numbers. Just make sure you know what you're doing. You can sort of mess with it, and then yeah, that's what you got. But that's basically it. If you want extra stuff, I'm gonna continue the video. If you wanna know about the extra effects I added, we'll talk about that now. But otherwise, thank you for watching. If you could leave a like, that would really be helpful. Maybe subscribe, you know, share the video. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the other effects. So one of the effects was the bubble distortion. So I don't know if you can see it in the video, but you can see a sort of bubbles like effect, and I decided to add that. So I'm gonna show you how to add that real quick. So you want to actually get the bubble module. Let's get the module. So local bubble module require folder bubble module. Yeah, it's just like make a file. Oh god. Yeah, okay, cool. So bubble module, and then you wanna we can just make it in one line over here. So just do max size equals like 150, something like that. I think that was the size of mine. So quarantine.wrap function, and then we're gonna make a for loop for I equals 1 segments do, and we're gonna do, so we want it to, the segments to be for the length of time. So we're gonna do like 10 segments, and we're gonna make it so the time task wait through each individual bubble is gonna wait this length of time. So it's gonna be length time divided by segments, how many segments there are. So that should last an even amount of time, right? So then what we want to do is we want to get our bubble module. I'm going to create a bubble, and then we want to be we want to get the current player's seed frame. So we're going to current kind of get pivot, right? And then the start size is going to be 0, right? So you can just do vector 3.0, right? And then yeah, I don't know what that is. Start. I have no idea what that. Oh, that's the transparency. That's the transparency. Okay. So the start transparency is gonna be 0.7, and then the max size is gonna be vector3.new max size all over, and then you want the time it takes is gonna be, I'm gonna make it like 3, okay? And then yeah, that should be good. Yeah, cool. And we should have it working. I don't know if you can see it. You can sort of see it here. You can see the bubbles. It was still there just a second. Yeah, you can see it's quite distorted effect. That's what we're looking for as well. I don't know what I did with the FOV, but it looks kind of weird. I don't know what I did there, but it looks very weird. Right, so this follows the wrong tween info. So yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, that's it for the bonus effects or whatever. If you want me to do another tutorial on maybe how I did the rocks, or maybe how I made my my color correction so different, like it was very different to how I did it in this video and how I did it in my original Conqueror Haki, let me know if you want a video on that, or those rocks, rising rocks, the way I did it. Make sure to comment down below. Like the video if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.